Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Caneside with Christopher James. Our UFC 251 preview show is getting ready to pop for you right here, right now. And we got a bunch of guests ready for you. We're going to jump right in. We started a little late, some technical stuff along the way. People had to get home from training at the gym, because they got to stay ready for their fights. So we're going to bring in first the Guitar Hero himself, made a successful UFC debut a few weeks back against Frank Camacho. He is the Guitar Hero, Mr. Justin Jaynes. What's up, brother?
Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
Oh, living the dream, living the dream. And also joining us on the panel this morning, he is one of my Florida faves. He's part of my fight family, always will be. I don't care if he's fighting
Cheers.
John Jones, Daniel Cormier, and fucking Stipe Miocic at the same time. I'm still picking up the win because that's my dog, Phil, the Fresh Prince Rowe. And congratulations to Phil. He's a new daddy. He just had a little baby last week. Oh, man, little beautiful baby girl. Maya Lynn Rowe. She's a gorgeous little lady. And my goodness. And I'm still trying to get Jamahal Hill. He's having some technical issues. I don't know what's going on with his. Also, guys, Geoff Neal was supposed to join us. He had to take care of a family issue. However, tonight, after the fight, we're going to go live with a post-fight show. Geoff Neal will be on the post-fight show. Justin, we'll start with you real quick before we get into picking these fights. Salute to you. Justin's drinking his, light beer, Miller Lite.
Hey, man, it's my diet beer, man. Come on.
I know, man.
Stay hydrated.
So big win against Camacho in your debut, man. You went in there and knocked dude out, in under a minute, I believe. How anxious are you, and what's the target for you to get back into the octagon?
As soon as possible. Right now I'm talking to my manager about returning in August. My suspension's up August 2nd. First show at the Apex August 8th. I'm ready to jump in. Let's go.
That's awesome. And then we got Mr. Phil Rowe over here, new daddy. So first question I want to ask you, how's that feeling, dog?
Feels all right, man. I'm a little sore from the delivery, but I'm back and back to training. So hopefully August, I'm in there. You know what I mean? Possibly on the car with Justin, man. I just want to get in there, man. Debut under the way and get to it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And he made it in. He made himself. Jamahal. What's up, dog?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas? What's happening?
Hey, what's up, Jamahal?
Man. So, Jamahal, I don't know if you know all the boys involved. Justin Jaynes up on the top there, and Phil, the Fresh Prince Rowe. Justin and you trained on this or fought on the same circuit, basically in Michigan. He was talking mad good stuff about you before we went live.
Give me 1 second, bro.
Yeah. Take your time.
I'm actually on the road right now. I'm on my way to Chicago.
You're what?
I'm on my way to Chicago.
Chicago, Chi-Town, baby. Man, I wouldn't want to go to Chicago right now, man. Fucking
Hell
that
no.
place is crazy.
Hell no.
Man, we all good, bro. That's my hometown. I'm good.
I know you good, man. All right, so let's kick that one out there. So we were talking to Phil. Phil just had a little baby girl, his first child, and he's a little sore from the delivery, but he's recovering well.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
And Phil won his Contender Series fight and is going to the UFC last August. I flew out there to watch him earn that contract because, like I said, he's part of my fight family eternally. So it's been a minute. So, Phil, give us an update on when you are looking to go.
Like I said, I just got to wait on my management. They said it's looking like August. They're out there right now with Jorge trying to win this title. So I know they're kind of, locked in with him. So Malky or Abe's out there with him. So Malky told me it's looking like August. We're on. So I just train with some of the best guys on the planet, and I just try to stay ready, man.
Awesome. And Mr. Hill, sweet dreams, baby, sweet dreams. So what's the scoop? What's the latest on you and you getting back into the octagon? What do we know?
So I'm ready whenever. I'm just staying locked in. Those don't work. No, I'm staying locked in, steady, staying busy, bro. I'm ready whenever they call.
That's what I like. That's what I like. Oh, man, cool. Well, first of all, guys, thanks for taking the time with me this afternoon to join us on the show to do a preview of UFC 251. Now, I know, like myself, some of these fights, not overly familiar with the athletes that are going to be competing. So we're just going to do like a quick run through. If you know them, pick them. If you don't know, make a random pick. It don't matter to me. It's all just for fun, for shits and giggles. So we're going to start down here on the bottom of the card. The opening bout is going to be Martin Day versus Davey Grant. And let's start with Justin Jaynes up there on the top right there.
Who?
Martin Day versus Davey Grant. Justin's going to make his pick first.
Hey, so we're talking about the bantamweight weight class. You know, Martin's coming off. He's won 3 of the last 5 fights. Looks like Davey's won 2 of the last 5. I think Martin's going to come in coming off a loss. He lost his last fight. It's do or die for him. He has the reach advantage. He's a slight favorite in the fight as well. I'm taking Martin Day by decision.
Martin Day by decision for Mr. Jaynes. He's taking Martin Day. Phil.
I don't know either of those guys. Davey, his name sounds cooler. I'm gonna go with him. Justin Jaynes, man, he sounds like a commentator, bro. Like, that's crazy. He's locked in for sure. He sounds like Paul Felder. So
he's ready to go.
He may have a job in commentating after he's done, man.
I sure hope so.
He wants to do commentary.
That's what I
one of the
I
reasons.
do too, and he just fucking destroyed me right there. So I need to lock in a little bit better.
Hey, and Phil, just so you know,
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know either of those guys. No disrespect to anybody. I'm just not familiar with them, so I can't really say. Maybe the Davey guy. I don't know. I literally have no idea who those guys are.
No, that's okay. And you know the funny thing is, Phil, just so you know, he sounds good, but he just started looking at the fights right before we went live. So, you know, and he did 30 seconds of research on each fight, I think, you know, until we get to the main card. Yeah. Then he's got some knowledge to drop on us.
I got a lot of knowledge on the name card. I got a couple minutes of research on all the fighters leading up to the main card, and I'm just going to let it fly.
All right. And Mr. Hill, Martin Day and Davey Grant, who you got there while you're munching on them French fries? You didn't bring any for the rest of us? What's up with that shit, bro?
I'm going to hand them through the camera, bro. That was cliche. That was a cliche question. But no. Shit, I don't know, bro. I don't know neither one of them. I'm gonna go with Martin Day. We're just gonna say it's his day for Martin Day.
Hey, you're talking about a guy that's 5'10". He's going against a guy that's 5'6". He has a long rangy jab. He's coming off a loss. His career's in dire stake. You lose 2 in a row, you're in big trouble. So I think with the long range, he's going to pattern with the jab and beat him by
5'10" at bantamweight.
5'10" at bantamweight. His opponent's 5'6".
Fuck yeah, I'm going with him. I'm
going with crazy. 5'10" bantamweight.
Said he's 5'6" at bantamweight. Bantamweight. Okay.
Well, one guy's 5'6", the other guy's 5'10".
Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
And the guy, it's like a 73-inch reach. Now I'm 5'7" and I got a 67-inch reach, so I couldn't even imagine having a longer reach.
Style and be like, oh, that's this.
Oh, we lost him there. I don't know what happened to Jamahal. He clicked out there.
They got him. He's in Chicago. He's in Chi-Town, man. The shootings there are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's right. It's getting crazy.
All right, so we'll move into the next fight. Hopefully, he'll make it back in. Oh, here he come. Yeah. He back.
Yeah, like I was saying though, like you can everybody have their own style. Like all wrestlers don't wrestle the same, all boxers don't box the same. You know, things like that. So like I had to see them fight in order for me to really say. I had to see both of them fight, and then, you know what I mean, see what they good at, see what they not good at. And then in order to be able to say.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Sometimes, you know, like I make these picks all the time, and sometimes I just fucking make a random pick just for shits and giggles because, you know, sometimes you just don't know, man. Sometimes, you know, I don't know every fighter out there, which kind of sucks, but, you know, I do my best to try to learn about them. So we're going to move on to the first female fight. So we've got 3 of us are picking Martin Day, and Phil Rowe is the black sheep of the family on this one. He's taking Davey Grant because he likes the name Davey. So I listen, my wife picks fights like that. She'll be watching a fight where she goes, I'm going to take that person. They look cool in their shorts. And I'm like, well, you should take this person because of this. And then the cool short person fucking wins, man, which is fucking bullshit. But, you know, that's how it goes. Next fight on the card, Vanessa Mello and Carol Rosen. Now, if I'm correct, Mello missed weight by like 5 pounds. She came in at 141. So for me, oh, by the way, I took Martin Day also on that. On this one, I'm going to go first. I'm just throwing out there fighters that come in heavy. 99 out of 100 times they win. So I'm taking the girl that came in a little chunky, and I'm taking Mello to win this one. Phil, jump in on this one.
killing me, man. This is terrible because I don't know these people, and I usually know most people on these cards. No idea who either of these women are. I go with Mello.
Mello. Mr. Hill, do you know who these girls are? Or are you just going to go? Like I said, I'm going with that chick.
What are their names again?
What did you say, Jamal?
What are their names again? Bella and what?
Mello and Carol Rosa. Mello came in heavy, 5 pounds overweight. So that's why I'm picking her, because the heavy you come in heavy, you don't do the work.
What's the record?
Justin, you got the records in front of you?
Yeah, Melo's 10-7, and her opponent's 12-3.
I'm going with Rose.
All right, he going with Rosa. And Justin.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about coming in overweight. You know, the couple times I've missed weight, I've missed it by 5 pounds. I always feel like shit coming in the fight. Looking at her record, she's 10-7. She's won 3 of the last 5, which is pretty good. Looks like she's on a 3-fight win streak. But I think Carol's she's ranked, half above of her. She's ranked 18th, while Melo's ranked 35th. She's coming off a win. She's won the last 4 of her 5. Like I said, she's 12-3. I'm going with Rosa for the decision win. I don't think at the bantamweight class there aren't very many finishes, so I'm gonna go with Rosa with the finish. She's gonna keep her streak alive to 2 fights.
Awesome, man. Hey, guys, we're watching KSR Christopher James, our UFC 251 preview show. On the show with me, I've got Justin Guitar Hero James, Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill, and Phil, the Fresh Prince Rowe. Shout out to Dean Toole from Island Fights. Dean Toole picked Rosa to win this fight. And all that stuff. Yeah, and you can see I'm on Fight Island. Justin's up in Michigan visiting family. Jamal's on his way to Chi-Town. Phil's at home in Florida with the familia. The wife and the baby. That's awesome. All right, next fight coming up. Raulian Pavia and Jaglis Zhumagulov. Pavia came in heavy on this one, 3 pounds overweight. But on this one, I think I picked because I made my picks. I got to throw my pictures up here. Hang on a second. I'm pretty sure I took oh, wow, I didn't even fucking finish that there. That's fucked up. I took Zhumagulov. He's got this great wrestling. He's from that side of the world where the wrestling gets shit done. And he's a tough hombre. I'm taking him to win, even though I go against my own theory of the heavier guy that comes in overweight winning. I'm going against my own pick there, and I'm taking Mr. Zhumagulov. Jamal, what you got on this one?
I think I'm gonna go with you. I don't really know either one of them either. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take the guy that came in on weight, ready to go.
Yeah,
I don't know, bro.
He's a tough dude.
Yeah, sometimes, like, honestly, for me, the times that mainly, and I think the main thing a lot of people get into is whenever somebody comes in overweight, they overthink that shit. Like, oh, he's heavy, he's bigger than me, he's gonna be stronger than me. Nah, I don't know. I think that might be a thing or something, but I'm taking the dude that was on weight. That was on weight, locked in, ready to go.
Cool. So we got 2 for Mr. Zhumagulov. Justin, what you got for me here, boss?
13-3 against 19-3. Although he is a slight underdog and he's a little bit heavy, coming from that wrestling base, I'm going to go with the same guy, Zhumagulov. I think he's going to grind out a decision here, unless it gets early and he can knock him out in the first round. If he goes past the first round, he's going to grind out a decision, or he's going to knock him out in the first 3 minutes.
I like it. And Mr. Rowe, what do you got here for us?
I just checked out this fight card. Side note, and until we get to Dos Santos versus the Kung Fu guy, I don't know any of these people.
Just make a random then. Who gives a fuck?
So 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 4 fights, I don't know who any of these human beings are.
Thanks, Doug.
Dude, Pava's gonna win. I don't know how. Yeah, man, this is weird. This card, there's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights. I do not know who these human beings are. So yeah, no idea, bro. Pava, he wins.
I mean, with that being said, this is a coin flip fight. I mean, he's a slight dog. Pava's coming out. He has 2 wins in a row, so he might carry the momentum. With that being said, his opponent's coming off a loss, and 2 losses in the UFC a lot of times means you're cut. So he might come in a little heavy and a little bit more hungry, and like I said, going to grind out this one.
I like it, man. We got the expert analysis of Mr. Justin Jaynes, man. He is definitely working to get a job as a commentator or an analyst sitting on that desk at ESPN, man.
Damn right.
I love it. All right, so we move on to heavyweights. Grisham and Marcin Tybura and Maxim Grishin. This, with the heavyweights, it's almost Justin. What are the records? You have the records right in front of you. I know that. So
we're gonna look at these records. We got 18-6. That's Marcin. And then Maxim is 30-7. So we're looking at someone that has a lot of fights, almost twice as many fights as his opposition. He's had I don't really follow him, but he's had a lot of disqualifications. He has like 2 no contests in his last 5 fights. Not really sure what it's from, but he is from Russia. So, we got to take that wrestling into account. All the guys I trained with at Extreme Couture from Russia come in, they grind and they bang. I'm taking Maxim Grishin by knockout.
By KO. He's calling the KO. Jamahal, what you got here with these 2 big heavyweights?
What's their names again? Max Christian and what?
Tybura and Grishin.
Tybura. That's the dude with the tattoos all around his back and shit, right?
Yeah,
I like him. He got hands, bro. I got him too by knockout.
Oh, we lost Phil there. He'll be back, I guess. Yeah, I think he did something wrong there. By the way, shout out to David Van Auken from Fight Bananas. Watching the show, man. He's one of my peeps, man. Love that guy. He's a new father too with twin daughters. Like, a couple months back, man. People are having all these babies. It's crazy. But twins, I wish that upon no one. But his little girls are so beautiful.
I would want twins. If I have more kids, I want twins.
More kids? You want twins?
I want twins, man. Nobody of his he was talking about.
All right, and Phil, I see your.
You do until you get them. My brother got hit with 2 sets of twins back to back.
Your brother had 2 sets of twins back to back?
Yeah, had twin girls and then had twin boys.
Jesus Christmas. That's
wow. That's nuts. My brother just had another kid today.
Jesus. Y'all be pumping them out.
Man.
Jamahal, how many kids you got?
You know how many kids I got, otherwise you wouldn't be asking me that.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Phil, we can't see you, so
I got 6.
6?
You got a tribe full of children, man.
Hey, don't say it like it's the first time you heard it before or something.
Nah,
I didn't know how many.
Dude, can you guys see me? I don't know what's going on. Can you guys see me?
Justin, the only one that
we can't see you.
I didn't know.
Hang on, Jamahal and Justin. Hang on. Phil, we can't see you. We can hear you, and you're kind of low on your volume. So if you could turn it up somehow, or click back out and click back in. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Damn. All right. Let me try to figure this out.
Okay. So, I didn't know you had 6 kids, man. That's crazy. I have my wife and I have our daughter, and I have a grandson. And my grandson is the best little motherfucker on the planet Earth, man. I love that dude. They sent me a video. She's up in Pennsylvania, and they sent me a video the other day that of my grandson saying, "Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Grandpa."
Oh, hell yeah.
Made me cry. I'm a puss with that shit. All right, Phil, we still can't see you. I don't know what's going on there. We had you. I think you disappeared. So we're going to move on to the next fight while we're waiting for Phil to figure out what's going on there.
Phil, I know I'm pretty, but, bro, don't be getting no ideas cutting your camera off with that funny business now.
I don't know what's up, bro. I keep resetting it. I'm on my phone. I don't know if that's an issue.
Yeah, no, mine ain't acting right for real either.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes that happens. It's no big deal. I mean, we can still hear you. So, if you could figure out how to get your camera back on, or Phil, you can actually, if you got your laptop or something, computer, you can actually do it from a computer. Just click the same link. It'll take you right here as well.
Wait, what? You can access the internet from a computer?
Well, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's amazing, Chris.
Hey, all right, hold on. I got to laugh track myself now. Now the next fight we're going to move in through is Oh man, this one's going to be a good one too. Roman Bogota versus Leonardo Santos. And since my man Justin Jaynes is working to get a job, Justin, give us the stats that we need to know.
All right. Well, we're looking at Leonardo, who's 17-3, going against Roman, who's 10-0. Right now, Leonardo is like a huge favor in this. But looking down, going through lightweight and stuff, we're talking about he's 10 years old. The guy that's 17-3 has 20 fights. He's 40 years old. I think age is going to come into factor here. Although he is the favorite in the fight, I'm going to take the dog. I'm taking Roman. He's from Russia. He's super tough. He's 29 years old. He's hungry, and I think he takes out the old veteran by decision.
Jamahal,
he's a huge underdog, and I think he's going to pull it off.
I like everything.
Oh, Jamahal froze up. Just might be the Kristen Justin show today, man. That's all right.
It might have to be.
Yeah, sometimes I guess when you guys do this on your phone, sometimes if you're driving around and stuff, it does pop out like that.
Sure.
So I don't know if Jamahal can hear me now. I'm going to pull him out of the screen right now until he starts to move again. So I'm taking Santos in this fight. I think his veteran presence, his ability to win fights when, a lot of times, even though he's a favorite, there's still a lot of people like you that feel the younger guy's going to come in. And I think his ability to live up to the betting line is something that I take into consideration. And he's got all the skills. I mean, his record is there. He can win fight anywhere. I just feel in my bones that he's the guy that's going to wet this one. My buddy Doug Rollins says this is the card to bet on the underdogs. So, and he said PVZ is as big as a 9-1 dog. We're going to get to her. Masvidal's a 3-1 dog. All those are 2-1 dog. But we're going to move on until these guys come back in. Next one is
keep in mind these guys are both on 5-fight win streaks as well. These guys, this is going to be a good fight. This should be a main card fight, I believe. This
is a coin flip fight as well because of they're both kind of on the same kind of run, so that kind of makes it interesting. Next, we're going to move to Makwan Amirkhani versus Danny Henry, and obviously I'll let you go first since you're my guest.
All right. Well, I'm going to take the dog again. I'm going to take Danny Henry. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Now, being at featherweight, Makwan, he's won 3 of his last 5, but I'm going to go with the Scottish fighter. I think he's going to come in hungry. You know what? He's a huge dog right now. He's like 80. He's an 80% dog. But you know what? Being a dog in my fight, when I saw that I was like an 80% against, I went out there and did it. You know what? I think Henry's going to come in. He's going to stun the world, and he's going to beat the number 26 fighter in the world.
Wow. So you're taking. On this one, where we at? You're taking Henry, and I'm taking Amirkhani again. I'm going with the veteran presence here.
Sure.
And this was one of the ones I had a problem picking because of everything you just said about Henry. But once in a while, a lot of times that's why I pick my fights. I'm a big underdog guy. I always like picking the underdog for some reason, and sometimes it happens. But on this one,
he has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose, and that's why I'm looking at it.
Yeah, he does. He has nothing to lose. I mean, and that's the thing. Amirkhani has everything to lose being the veteran on this one, and Henry has nothing to lose and everything to gain because this card is going to be so watched. He got a real great opportunity to build his brand and continue to work on that winning streak and cementing his name as somebody that belongs in the octagon. So I'm taking Amirkhani, and we got one more fight on the. Two more fights on the undercard, and then we'll move to the main cards. Muslim Sokolov versus this is a big one right here. Evzelu Zaleski dos Santos. He's got like all kinds of names going on here. And I'm just going to throw mine out there right now. I'm taking Dos Santos, and you know why? Because I don't know too much about either of these guys, but the Dos Santos name has lineage in my book, so I'm just going with Dos Santos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Am I in this motherfucker or am I invisible?
You're here. You were gone. You disappeared. You froze. You just came back. So I said, welcome back.
I ain't hear that. Stop playing with me, Chris. All right.
I'm so glad you're far away from me right now.
Hey, Jamahal, this is 70, man. Give us your feel. These are a couple 70-pounders coming in, scrapping it up. What do you think?
Who is it fight? Who is it going at it again? What fight are we on?
I don't know how to pronounce their names.
I don't have my head.
Sokolov versus, his name is Muslim Sokolov versus Aziliu Zaleski dos Santos.
Yep. I'm going to go with Dos Santos. He has a big reach advantage. He has a 4-inch reach advantage. He's on a 3-fight win streak compared to the Russians' 1-fight win streak. I mean, he has 28 fights. I think experience is going to come through and prove forward in his reach. He's going to keep him at bay with his reach and finish the fight that way. I have a knockout going for 73 to 69.
Man. What's the height? The height of both.
Both 5'11".
Yeah, I got to go with the man with the reach. Maybe if he was giving up a little height or something, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the guy with the reach because I don't know him. I don't know these guys, so I'm gonna go with the physical stature. And you said the guy with the reach has how many fights compared to the other guy?
28 to 18, so 10 more.
10 more fights. That helps.
Experience can be overrated, but I'll go with the reach.
I like it. All right, so now we move to the final fight on the prelims. And this one right here, truly a contender for fight of the night in my eyes. These guys are going in. We got Volkan No Time Ozdemir versus Yuri Prochaska. These guys are both fucking.
Okay, now we're talking about shit I can talk about.
Say that again, Jamal.
I said now we're talking about some shit I can talk about.
So let's get the numbers from Justin because Justin's my numbers guy right here. He's got all the stuff right from him. And Justin, you're doing a phenomenal job, by the way, man. People are commenting here; they're loving your breakdowns.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Right now, we're going against Volkan versus Jiri. Volkan right now, he's lost 3 fights in a row. How is that going to pay on him mentally? Did he get knocked out? Did he get subbed? Losing fights in a row is taxing. Mentally it's taxing. Physically it's taxing, especially if he's getting his head bounced around off the canvas. Whether he's getting knocked out or not, he's still taking damage in the fight. Now we look at the dog here in the fight. Jiri, he's won 5 fights in a row. Whether he's finishing or not, I'm not really sure. He's a slight dog in the favorite, but I tell you what, I'm putting Jiri. He's going to win. I have him by winning by knockout.
Yeah, and Jiri is all Jiri's fights he's won like out of all his fights. I mean, like except for 2, I think all his wins are by knockout. So this guy don't fuck around when he comes into the
first round. All of them in the first round.
Jiri,
really? All in the first round. No shit.
Yeah, Jiri's a fucking beast. I was originally going to take
weight class. I had to peep him a little bit.
Sure.
It's my weight class.
Yeah, well, that's one you should really know about. I was going to take.
Volkan.
Go ahead, Jamal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Volkan's good. Volkan's been up there against the top. The top upper echelon. But also, this guy's. I believe the other guy. This is his debut. I believe, right?
I'm not sure. He's lost 3 in a row. I can't see him making a debut after losing 3, but it might. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe he's stepping.
He's lost 3 in a row. I'm pretty sure the dude that Volkan's fighting is the undefeated dude from like Russia or some shit like that, right?
Volkan is fighting. He's not undefeated. He's on a 5-fight win streak. He's 26-3.
And this will be his UFC debut.
It is, right? All right, so yeah.
Yeah, because his last fight was December of last year.
But what I mean, there's a lot of hype about this dude. He's supposed to be brutal, in the first round. If he don't get it done in the first round, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm going to go with Volkan. We're going to see. We're going to say Volkan weathers the storm early, uses some of that good old experience, and probably bounces him out in we'll say the 3rd round. I say finish him in the 3rd round TKO.
So, yeah, I just think fucking, as I was listening to Justin, because this was another toss-up fight for me because of what Jiri does, man. He comes out there and he just fucking overwhelms you and puts you away in the first round.
Fucking bomb.
He's a fucking animal. But Volkan, no time. I mean, he was on a run there for a while, man. And, he'd get done and be like, look, no time. Because
he lost to, though. But who did he lose to? What are those 3 fight losses, too?
Well, one of the losses was against Reyes. And a lot of people feel like, including my friend Forrest, just
lost to Reyes, DC. He lost to DC, Reyes, and I think Latifi.
I think you're right there. I will check that number right there for you, and I will let you know.
Actually, he knocked Latifi out.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to back that up there so we can find out there just to make sure I got the thing right. Vulcan. Got to pull up the stats. Yeah, his 3 losses. Let's see. 3 losses. Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, and Daniel Cormier. He's not on a 3-fight losing streak. He's on a 2-fight winning streak.
Okay. Then it's backwards on mine. It's backwards on mine.
He knocked out Latifi, and he
I should started fucking
decision with Alexander Ratchik. So, but I'm still taking Jerry. Just this is a debut against a high-level debut, and these guys are not out there to dance. They're not out there to fuck around. They're out there to knock each other out. I just think Jerry's got all this fucking roll behind him. He's on a solid roll, and I don't think anybody's going to stop him right now. Not saying he's going to, own the division, but I just think on this one, this is his fight.
Shit.
All right, are you guys ready for
All
some?
right, am I back? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's hit that main card. Let's go.
All right, on the main card, starting out, we have the ladies, Amanda Ribas and Paige Van Zandt. This is the first of 2 female fights on the card, on the main card. This is this is one of those, again, another tough fight. I'm looking at it, and let me pull it up right here. I got all these damn numbers over here. Hold on. I got to pull them up on my. There we go. All right, so Amanda Ribas versus Paige Van Zandt. Ribas is 9-1. Van Zandt is 8-4. They both won their last fight. They're both the same as far as height, 5'4". It's funny, on the UFC website, it says that Ribas is in the featherweight or flyweight division, and it lists Paige Van Zandt as a lightweight at 155.
Oopsies.
Reach is the same, both leg and arm reach. Win, by KOs or TKOs, relatively similar, subs, all that stuff. The thing, Ribas is a better striker per minute. She's also
You gotta remember Ribas.
she takes less damage, and her defense, her takedown defense, she's a higher takedown defense. Now, also of interest, Paige Van Zandt talked leading up to this fight. She did an interview with somebody and talking about she's going to have another surgery on her already arm that she's had like 3 surgeries on. I don't think, and this is her last fight on the contract. And some people say that that would make her hungry, but she's already said she makes more money doing internet stuff, fucking YouTube videos or Instagram and all that stuff. But the fact that her arm is not 100%, I just don't feel that she's going to have enough to get done. And Ribas is a tough girl. Like I said, she's 9-1. I have no doubt that she's going to win this fight, and she's going to finish Paige Van Zandt.
I agree.
What you got for me?
That's on me.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I agree with you on that one. Paige, she just hasn't fought. She don't seem like she was interested in fighting. And like even when I watch her fight, it's kind of like a soft dance martial art type thing, like a pity patty, like tap tap type thing. Like I don't see her as a killer. You know what I'm saying? I seen the girl she's fighting. I seen her fight once, and that chick is vicious, dog. She's nasty. She headhunts sometimes. I think she gonna find her head. I think she might even either knocks her out or TKOs her.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think Ribas going to win by TKO. All right, Mr. Justin Jaynes, what you got for us?
I don't think this fight should be talked about too much. I mean, this is clearly a mismatch. Paige Van Zandt has lost 3 of her last 5. Although she's coming off a win, Ribas is on a 4-fight win streak right now. I think whatever, and she's hungry to fight. Like you said, Paige Van Zandt's coming off an injury. She doesn't even know if she wants to do this sport anymore. I think she's coming in for the paycheck, and I think Ribas TKOs are within 2 rounds.
So we're all unified on this one. All right, then we're going to move up another female fight on the card, which I love this match. I love this rematch. Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. Andrade beat Rose and took the belt from her. And then subsequently lost the belt in her first defense, like just got smoked. Rose Namajunas has been a surprise to a lot of people. You know, when she came in and she beat Joanna and everything, beat her twice. And, she's really tough. You know, when she was on in the Tough House with all the other girls and everything, wasn't sure how to take her, but she's really turned into a phenomenal fighter. I think she's motivated. I think she's committed. Her coaches have all said she's really in a good spot. Her manager, Brian Butler from Sucker Punch, said she's in a good spot mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I think she wants to prove that the loss to Andrade was a fluky loss because she shouldn't have lost that fight. So I'm taking Rose on the comeback trail.
Go ahead, Jamal. Oh, we lose him?
Froze up. The picture of him frozen up with his eyes looking up too.
He's thinking. Well, I'll jump on it before he gets back. You know, the thing with Rose is she is coming off a loss. You know, Andrea's coming off a loss as well. But after she talked of her fight, she wasn't sure if she wanted to do this anymore. She said her heart wasn't into it. And that's concerning to me, especially from a better standpoint. Now, from a skill standpoint, I think Rose has everything, all the tools to beat her. She was beating her the first time, and she just didn't let go of a submission quick enough. Andrea's made the great adjustment. Dominic Cruz did a breakdown of it, of having her head on the inside of the single and having it on the outside. And that was the adjustment Andrea has made. But, it comes down to where's Rose in her head. I think even Rose out of her element and not motivated, she still wins this fight. But if she's motivated and she's training hard and Brian, she's as focused as Brian says she is, she comes in and I think she wins by decision.
Yeah, and Pat Barry, her coach and her boyfriend, they haven't gotten married yet, so it's her boyfriend. I heard some stuff from him as well, saying that he's seen Rose different times in her career, because he's been there for all of it. And this is one of the most healthy, focused Rose Namajunas camps that he's been involved in. I just think that she has to go out there and prove, like my buddy Forrest said, she was winning that first fight.
Yeah,
then she got dropped on her head. So we lost Jamahal again. Hopefully he'll come back in. But
with that being said, too, look, from a coach's point, a coach is never going to say, "Oh man, they're having a shitty camp," or they're always going to say, "Oh, this is the best I've ever seen him." So, but is it really though? So it depends to me which Rose shows up. I even think if she comes in unfocused, she still can beat this girl. Now Andrea is very strong, very athletic, very heavy-handed, and obviously she just picks her up like nothing. She has that going for her. So the athletic standpoint, the athletic attributes, I'm going to give to Andrea's, but I think Rose is too smart and too good of a fighter. And like I said, I'm going to stick to she grinds out a decision.
Yeah, like I said, it's a solid matchup. I really am excited for it. And I think Rose, but I don't think Rose can go out there, half motivated. She has to be all in for the win. If she's not all in, she'll lose. Because she does have some issues sometimes dealing with her emotions and stuff. She has some anxiety stuff, and we all know that it's been very publicized. And she's taken extended periods of time to get her head right. And but I think she's in that right headspace right now. Everything that's leading up to this shows that I've seen some, training video and everything. I just think she's in that spot. She wants this win back. And she wants to prove that when, she's the same girl that took out Joanna twice. And this is the fight that she needs to do that with. Now, here we go into the title fights, man. And I got to tell you, yeah, I'm excited too. Petr Yan and Jose Aldo. First, let me say, before we even break down this fight, it should be Yan and Aljamain Sterling. There is no doubt in my mind. Aldo, I think he's still the greatest featherweight champion we've seen. A lot of people say it was Max because Max beat him, but Max never, did the streak as long. And Jamal's back. Let me get him in here. Oh, it says it needs to. Yeah, his camera ain't connected yet, so that's what it is. All right, so he's having some issues on his end. But yeah, Jamal, I don't know if you can hear us, but we can't see it won't let me connect you without your camera. Your camera's not. It's acting up again, so you might have to, click out and click back in. Aldo is the greatest featherweight champion in the history of the UFC. He's the first. He's got the longest win streak, the title defenses. So until somebody equals that, there's nobody better. The fight he had against Marlon Moraes in his bantamweight debut, everybody, a lot of people thought he won that fight, but he didn't. A lot of those people aren't judges, I felt that he did good in that fight, but I think Moraes did enough to beat him. I don't think that, again, Aldo should be fighting this fight. With that being said, I am going on the upset on this one. I'm taking Aldo to beat Jan. I think his championship experience, people are like what Jan did to fucking Faber, but remember what Aldo did to fucking Faber? He chopped him down at the legs and fucking, Aldo's going to implement those kicks. Jan's a tough son of a bitch, don't get me wrong. And he's a star of the future. And he's probably future champion in this division. But in this fight right now, I just think Aldo, with everything that's been going on in his life, and I think he's getting this fight because they screwed him and never gave him the rematch against Conor McGregor that he deserved, based on, his length as champion. Other champions got treated better. He was one of the guys who didn't. So I just think everything is in his favor. Like I said, I think, as far as athletic ability and being well-rounded, I think Aldo has more. I think Aldo is better everywhere. Not saying, I'm not saying that Jan is not great. Jan's a fucking super stud of a fighter. And he can fight anywhere, whether, on the feet or on the ground, but it's going to be Aldo. This is an Aldo fucking win. I have no doubt about it. And then what will end up happening down the road, if he can get past Sterling and defend the belt, then we'll see Frankie Edgar versus Jose Aldo for the bantamweight title in the future, which is mind-blowing, but I'm taking Aldo on this one. Justin, what you got for us, brah?
I think you said it yourself. He was the greatest champion of all time. I mean, he's not anymore. He's going down a weight class. And yeah, I thought he looked great against Moraes, no doubt. But like you said, he didn't win. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now. They're giving him the shot, and I think you're exactly right. They're giving him the shot because he didn't get his chance against Conor McGregor. But look at this. Look at where his mentality's at. He goes from being the greatest featherweight fighter of all time, and now he's changing weight classes, meaning that he's lost a little bit of confidence there. So I think going down, this is his last shot. If he loses 3 fights in a row, he needs to retire. If he wins, he needs to retire. With that being said, Peter Yan knows was at stake here. He's fighting the greatest featherweight of all time at bantamweight. So how's Aldo going to feel? I think Peter's going to put the pressure on him, and he's going to TKO him in the late in the third, or no, I'm going to stick to TKO late in the third. Peter Yan is the next bantamweight champion. I'm already thinking about Cejudo. I'm worried about Aldo. He's old. He's taken a lot of damage. I think the UFC is giving him one last chance as more of not even like a favor to him for not giving him McGregor. And you're absolutely right. He's ranked 10th right now. Yan's ranked 2. I hate to say he's not deserving because of his history, because his history goes above and beyond. He's, like I said, like you said, he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest featherweight of all time. I think the UFC is just doing a favor and throwing him out there because he's going to draw the ticket. People want to see him win because of his history, but he's just not going to do it. Peter Yan's too hungry, too young, and he's going to be too much for Aldo. Again, Aldo's going down a weight class. He's already 0-1 at this weight class. Unfortunately for Aldo, he's going 0 for 2.
Well, I like your thoughts and your breakdown there. You're wrong. No, I'm just
Probably.
That's the funny thing. That's why I like doing this, man, because we could be right, we could be wrong.
Sure.
We can give all the stats and breakdowns and everything, and the bottom line is this is why they fight. So
Yep.
Who knows what can happen in any of these fights? So next one, featherweight championship, the rematch: Volkanovski versus Mr. Max Blessed Holloway, Alexander the Great versus Max Blessed Holloway. And since I opened up with Aldo and Jan, you can open up on this one there.
This is a coin flip for me. This is a very exciting matchup. I didn't know who Volkanovski was when they fought the first time. I stacked my money against him. I didn't think this guy would have what Holloway has, the pace he has, the pepper. And he's not a devastating power striker. He just peppers guys and breaks them. It's like taking a sledgehammer to a rock and hitting it, 100 times and watching that crack right down at one of them. And he's just like that. Now, what Volkanovski brought to the game that we've never seen before is he tore apart Holloway's foundation. Inside left hook to an inside leg kick, outside leg kick, just tear him up. I really think that played a factor in the game plan that really took him off. Holloway wasn't able to move around as much as he used to. He wasn't able to get in, pepper, and get out because that's his game plan. He's a long, rangy, striker, a lot like Nate Diaz, I think, just a cleaner version of Nate Diaz. This is a coin flip for me. I think the biggest problem that Holloway had in the first fight was the kicks. I think he just fucked him up with kicks so bad that he didn't really have an answer for it. Now, it's been some time. They've already broke down this fight 1,000 times. He's watched this fight 1,000 times. He knows what Volkanovski is going to do. So it depends on, does he make the adjustment to the adjustment? Holloway's going to be, looking to check and counter the kicks. And if Volkanovski has the same game plan, I think he's in it for a long night. I think Holloway wins by decision. If Volkanovski tries to use his kicks to set up something else, something that we haven't seen yet, he could win it again. But I think Holloway, for how good of a fighter he is and how much experience he has and how fucking tough he is, you just can't knock this guy out. I think he's going to make the adjustments to defend the kicks, and not only defend but counter off his kicks. And he's going to come away with the decision win.
So you're taking Holloway?
I'm taking Holloway to get his title back. He's hungry and he wants his title back, and he's a great fighter and a great athlete. He's going to pepper Volkanovski and block his kicks and counter and make him pay for it.
All right, now see, I'm on the other side of this street here with you. I think Alex Volkanovski implemented a great game plan against Max, and now it's up to Max to make the adjustments. But here's the thing, when you said you didn't know who he was when he was fighting Max, I was actually surprised because he had been on a good run before he ever got that title shot. He is 21-1. He's lost one fight in his career, and every fight I've seen him, he's one of those guys that brings something different, something new in every single appearance I've watched him. Max hasn't changed much. Max has a game plan. Max has a style, and it's worked for him. And I love Max Holloway. He's one of my favorites. I was there in Toronto at UFC 206 when he took out Aldo. No, wait, who did he fight Aldo that night? No, he fought somebody else to get the interim strap. I'll have to remember that in a minute. But anyway,
it was Frankie Edgar.
Huh?
Frankie Edgar? Is it when he beat Frankie the last time?
No, it was he fought Anthony Pettis.
Okay.
At UFC 206 in Toronto. Pettis was coming down, and he missed weight, and Max beat him and became the interim champion that night. I've watched Max evolve, and grow up inside the octagon because he's been here a long time in the UFC, came in at a very young age, continued to work. He went on a huge winning streak and everything. And he's done so much. But the question is, you said he's a cleaner version of Nate Diaz, and I really like that analogy. I like that comparison because there's a lot of truth to that. But where Max has to go to work now, he can't go out there and be that same guy. He has to make adjustments. He has to show his evolution from that fight to this fight. And Alexander the Great, he was doing a lot of talking, almost like he called Max out for this fight. Because I think he has to prove to himself and he wants to prove to everybody that he is the truth, the champ. And he has all the tools. He's shown us already that because he beat him. And he used a great game plan. But I think what we're going to see now is the next evolution of him against Holloway. I think he's going to show us even more of control. And I actually think that he's going to finish him this time. Wow. I think that Volkanovski is going to finish his fight inside of 4 rounds. I don't think this fight goes the distance this time. And like I said, I love Max. I'm a huge fan. Sometimes it makes it hard to, make these picks because, I like both guys, and it's like, I hate picking against somebody, like when you have your next fight, whoever it is, I might have to pick against you if, they put you in there with somebody that I should pick against you for. That's the thing.
Hey, it's just business, man. It's not personal to me.
Listen, some guys take it personal, man. When they find out I picked against them, I get messages. Why didn't you fucking pick me? I thought we were friends. Friends has nothing to do with fucking you were fighting a guy that's number 3 in the world and you're number 23 in the world. How should I pick you? It doesn't make sense. When I'm giving out picks that people are asking me for legitimate picks. Now, when I make picks just based on who I want to win, it's a whole different world. Like I said, like at the beginning of the show, like Phil Rowe. If Phil Rowe's fighting John Jones, Daniel Cormier, and Stipe Miocic at the same time, I'm picking Phil with my heart. With the money, I'm picking the other 3 because 3-on-1, I don't care. You're going to probably get your ass kicked. But that's the point of it is it's so difficult sometimes to be in this business as a journalist because I talk to guys, you and I, we did one interview and I already feel like, this is Bud, man. This guy I'm going to talk for the rest of his career, if I can get a care package from, I'm going to come out and see him fight live, and I'd like to develop those relationships in that rapport because I don't ever want to be thought of as a journalist or a reporter that's, stiff, I want athletes to say, hey man, I want to go hang out with Chris and smoke up, or I want to go hang out with Chris. Chris owes me a beer, or he owes me some ice cream for my last fight because he told me to get it. Although I want to be able to be legit as a journalist and give the honest stuff, I like the rapport. Fighters are the coolest people I've ever met. I'm so blessed to be in this business in the first place. because I came in here out of left field doing this, as a ring announcer years back, and it just kind of turned into all this. And I really found a love for this sport. But because I found a love for the sport because of the athletes that compete in it, guys like you, they're just regular dudes, man. Like I'm a regular motherfucker, dude. I'm hanging out. I'm drinking a light beer. I'm fucking at my folks' house. They don't have fucking cable, motherfuckers, but I stay there because I love them,
That's right.
And I'm going to hang out. I stole my mom's phone so I can get some stats. And,
that's right. That's right.
I don't care about fucking the pictures. I feel weird. Those are the people.
I like it. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But
no, I know. But what I'm saying is just the character of most people that I've met. I'm a huge Mike Perry guy. Mike Perry lives down here in Florida. I announced him in a couple of fights here on the regional scene. He's not married anymore, but I was at his, engagement party. I've had some crazy, fun times with Mike. I know he's going through some shit right now. Everybody's entitled to go through some shit in their life. We all go through some stuff. I made one statement on Facebook about it because literally when that video came out, I got like 100 messages from people going, "What the fuck, dude? What's up with your boy?" I'm like, how the fuck do I know? I'm not with him in Texas hanging out with him. He's a grown man, but I will always support Mike. I always support John Jones. There's guys that I'm just going to support, and I've never met John Jones. I met him once for like 30 seconds. He just, he big time me, just kept on moving. But that's all right, man. But I support a lot of guys, and I believe in a lot of guys because even though the fans don't always see, some of the Mike Perry stuff, they don't know him behind the scenes. They only know him now. I will say that a lot of what you see Mike Perry, in front of a camera, that's Mike Perry, man. It's just who he is.
Yeah.
Never going to change. It's part of his appeal. People like him because he's a real motherfucker, So now let's move on to the main event of the night. The main event of the evening. The champ, Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, taking on Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. Probably the hottest ticket in town. Masvidal brings something crazy to this fight. I'm going to let you break down the fight first, and because I'm cool like that. But I just want to say that the thing that happened with this one, and the UFC is ecstatic. They're not happy about Burns getting sick. Nobody is. When we wish Gilbert Burns the best on his recovery, and hopefully he'll get back soon. And, maybe get a title shot after this fight. But this could not have worked out better for the UFC and for the fans. This was the fight everybody wanted to see in the first place. And Masvidal's addition to this card has brought so much hype and buzz. I'm pretty sure he's going to add, I was being conservative, thinking that, maybe 100,000 pay-per-view extra because of him. But he's the driving force behind this whole card. The card fucking blew up once he got announced that he was going to try to get on it, and then he got on it. So I'm going to say an extra 500,000 pay-per-view buys will be attributed to the addition of Masvidal, and you can't teach that because he's just got it. With that being said, Mr. Justin Jaynes, our professional expert, is going to give us a breakdown.
The Guitar Hero will give us a breakdown. So I look at this,
wait, hold on. Woosah, get it.
Come on, let's get the energy going.
All right.
Prior to Gilbert being out, I had Burns winning this fight. I don't know if Usman can handle this kind of pressure. Now that Masvidal's in it, from a skill standpoint, I take Usman. I think that he grinds Jorge out and takes him into deep waters. The longer the fight goes, the worse it's going to be for Jorge, I believe. I think he's going to lose his power. He's going to lose his explosiveness, lose his striking. With that being said, Masvidal coming into this fight has nothing to lose. He can go out and throw a jump knee like he did against Ashby. He can go out and throw a spinning back fist. He can do something crazy to try and shock the world. Because if he loses, he's expected to lose. Usman has everything to lose. He's the champion. He's on a good win streak right now. He has so much pressure, and this is going to really tell if it breaks. Masvidal has no pressure. Coming into a fight with no pressure, he has nothing to lose. He's getting paid. He got the money he wants already. He's coming in. He's throwing leather. Like I said, if the fight goes past 2 rounds, Usman's going to finish him probably in the 4th. But with that being said, don't blink in the 1st round. Don't blink in the 2nd round. Usman, if I was Usman's team, I'd be looking to set up my takedowns, maybe feint some takedowns with some strikes to take him down and try to grind him that 1st round. Because again, like I said, the longer the fight goes, we don't know what kind of shape Masvidal's in. I watched an interview with Justin Poirier getting ready for this, and he said he's been training this whole time because he's been waiting for this exact situation. He was thinking that Burns was going to get hurt or get sick, and he knew that he'd be through in. Now with the pay-per-view sales, he's getting the money he wants, and he gets to show up. He made weight. He cut 20 pounds in 6 days.
which is not unheard of. I mean,
it's not unheard of by any means.
But
And I
not
don't,
a big deal.
I don't like that people are kind of blowing that out of proportion. Oh my God. Hey, listen, I did 16 pounds in 30 hours. Like, it's not that big of a deal. He's a fighter. He's a vet. He has almost 50 fights. Like, 20 pounds in 6 days ain't shit. So I do think he's in some kind of shape though for his weight to be that low initially. But like I said, I have Usman taking him down, grinding him out, maybe putting him away in the 4th round, but don't blink in the 1st round because there is a chance that he could slide one in there and knock him out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Usman is a pressure king. He knows how to come in and put the pressure on. I mean, look what he did to Tyron Woodley to take the belt away. And Woodley is a world-class wrestler. So the fact that he got handled the way he did in that fight was really shocking for me. I picked Usman to actually win that fight because I just felt something was off with Woodley during the camp and, on weigh-in day, something said to me it wasn't his, excuse me, he wasn't going to retain the belt. But Masvidal, while you say he doesn't have anything, Doug, he's going to be on every preview show with me here. Let me show you this before, just so you know. Oh, wait, hold on. Where is it? I hope Justin is on some of your shows. He's going to be my regular partner for every preview show. We've been talking about it since I first met him, so we're going to have him on all the time because he's fucking phenomenal, dude.
Thanks,
I always like to associate with cool motherfuckers that can rock the bald head and drink that light beer from Miller.
Hey, someone come give me another beer.
Hey, get that man another beer, man.
Give me a beer.
The fuck? No.
But
but Masvidal is a legit killer, man. He's been doing this since he was a kid. He's not going to succumb to any kind of pressure from any kind of fight. There's no stage that's too big for this guy. He can go anywhere the fight goes with Usman. But a lot of things that factor into this. Masvidal has been training for this fight the whole time. He was in a full camp because, like you said, you even mentioned it. He was in a full camp, and then he kind of backed out of camp, but he kept training anyway, even though he wasn't camp training. He was still staying ready because he just had a gut feeling. So he gets the call, he goes over, eats a fucking little bit of pizza on the way over to fucking Abu Dhabi, which I fucking love because people were losing their goddamn minds. Oh, he's going to be too fat. He ain't going to make weight. He fucking made weight because he's a pro and that's what he does. He can, obviously the path to victory for him in most people's eyes is finishing him on the feet, overwhelming him with the punches and power. And he's got big power. He's been fighting guys in the backyard, big motherfuckers that were much bigger than him when he was a kid. He's a seasoned veteran. The name Game Bred truly fits his personality. Here's where I think he has the advantage. He's been training the whole time with this camp and American Top Team. Originally, when this fight was booked, it was Usman versus Burns. They both trained with Henry Hooft down here in Florida. Burns stayed in camp with Hooft, and Usman went out to Colorado to Elevation Fight Team. Now, they're a phenomenal team. I mean, Justin Gaethje, Curtis Blades. So it's not like he can't get good work out there. And I don't want this to come out wrong because that's a phenomenal camp. If I was training for a fight, I would go out there because they have the skills, the people, the knowledge, and everything you need to put in your toolbox to take with you on fight night. With that being said, it was a short camp. I don't know how much, some fighters are really regimented and they need certain things in their life. And this is a whole new camp, a whole new environment for Usman. And while, he's confident champion, he's a legit killer inside the octagon. I think where the biggest advantage comes from is he was training for Burns. He wasn't training for Masvidal. And Masvidal is a completely different fighter, which that's one. But two, the fact that he went to a new camp. I think that's going to factor into this because he hasn't had a fight with these guys running his corner before.
Sure.
He hasn't, trained for a fight with these guys running anything, running his camp. I just see that as a disadvantage for the champ right now. Now the next fight, if he wins this one and, whatever the next fight, he will be even better if he stays at Elevation because, if he wins, it's going to be a Burns rebooking, I'm guessing, which means Burns will stay in Florida. He'll stay out at Elevation. But there's something going on with Masvidal right now. He took out, Ben Askren in 5 seconds, and I don't want to discount that, but he was training to do exactly that. There's video proof of it, that he knew that Askren was coming in. The whole world knew Askren was coming in for the takedown. And 5 seconds later, the fight was over. And if you want to get real technical, that fight was over 2.5 seconds because that's when contact was made. But it took the ref another 2.5 to get in there and save Askren's life. He knocked out Darren Till viciously, who's a much bigger dude. Now, I attribute that because he got dropped in that fight as well. Showed his toughness because Masvidal. I mean, after Till did Cerrone to what he did to Cerrone, everybody's like, "Oh my God, this guy's the next big thing." Blah blah blah. He needed work, but that Masvidal fight, he got exposed. Sure. Even with his big power punching and being the biggest welterweight in the division, because when he fights at welterweight, on fight night he's 205, so he's a light heavyweight fighting. But then again, everybody puts on weight. That's why I hate the fucking weight class thing in the first place. You weigh in today at 145, and tomorrow night you're 170. You're fighting as a welterweight, man. Shut the fuck up. Fucking, so you're a welterweight. That's how it should be. That's just my opinion. Weight cutting thing, the whole discipline behind it, I understand it, but I just think it's silly at this point. You guys are killing yourselves, and you're not getting an advantage unless you're Darren Till against welterweights, because no other welterweights get that big. But typically, if you're fighting a guy in your weight class at lightweight, he's cutting weight, you're cutting weight. Fucking, so let's say you're both 175 to start out camp. You both cut down to 155. You get back on fight day, you're both 170. So where
100%.
do you gain a physical advantage? I don't understand the mentality behind it. I've asked fighters. None of them can really explain it to me. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. We'll maybe do that one day. We'll just talk about weight cutting and the advantages. But I'm taking Masvidal to win.
Okay.
I think Masvidal has good, like you said, because he doesn't have the same things on the line to lose. He's the driving force behind this, the world, energy, and I believe in stuff like the energy of the world and the universe kind of having a play in your life, because things happen for a reason at the right time, and part of that's the energy of the universe around you. Like you got to fight, you're living out in Vegas, boom, the call came, boom, 38 seconds later, boom, you're knocking out Camacho, boom, you're doing interviews, boom, you're fucking a star. I mean,
that's right.
Just like that. But everything in the universe had to be in the right alignment for that to happen for you. And I think this moment here in time is Masvidal's moment.
I want to talk a little bit about Usman, not too much, but a little about Usman training camps now. Looking at Usman, he has one loss. He's 16-1. The thing
he's on like a 12-fight winning streak, but
he's on like a 12-fight winning streak.
Who did he lose to? Jose Caceres, Bruce Leroy's little brother, right? I mean,
yes, he got rear naked choked in 2013.
Yeah.
So, but with this being said, now we're talking about an experienced vet that has notable wins over top quality guys. I don't think Masvidal has really fought that. I mean, he's fought tough guys. Everybody in the UFC is tough. But we look at this, Damian Maia. To me, he's the best grappler in the history of the sport. Damian Maia is if not one of the best, if not the best of all weight classes. He beats him by decision. He goes to beat Rafael Dos Anjos. That's another tough dude. That was the UFC champion. He beats him by decision. He then moves on, fights Tyron Woodley, the champion, who was he's beat a lot of my teammates. Another really, really tough guy, heavy-handed striker. So we can
Woodley
see
is the second best welterweight champion in history in my eyes right now.
George St. Pierre,
GSP.
And coming down, we get into Tyron Woodley again. As you say, the second best of all time, heavy-handed, athletic, had a wrestling background, beats him by decision. Goes on to fight Colby Covington, again, another super tough guy, and breaks his jaw in the 5th round. I think the experience, like Masvidal has the hype, and I tell you this, the UFC wants Masvidal to win because it would be just insane. It's like Conor McGregor. They want Conor to win. They want Masvidal to win. But looking at his record, he beat Ben Askren, okay, that's not that great of a win. He beat Darren Till.
Hold on. What do you mean that's not that great of a win? Hang on. Askren was undefeated. Undefeated Bellator champion, undefeated ONE FC champion, coming off the win against Robbie Lawler. You can't discount that victory because that's not right. Because fucking Askren is, when Askren came into that fight, the UFC had him ranked 5th or 6th, but in the world rankings, Askren was like number 3. At the point where he fought him. You can't discount that. Askren, was a legit killer, dude. So. And 5 seconds doesn't tell the story. The fight with Damian Maia told more of the story, but at that point, and Askren never makes excuses, but his hips are ruined. He's got to have hip surgery, both sides, both hips replaced. And he said, he goes, I can't move the way I did, so I'm retiring. I'm calling it a day.
Sure.
So we give him the one loss against Maia where they fought because him and Masvidal didn't really fight. He ran in, ducked his head, and Masvidal kicked it off because that's what he was planning on doing. It was like when DC predicted how he was going to beat Stipe in that first fight. because he did his homework. Masvidal did his homework. Masvidal's fight IQ is off the fucking charts. I think it's better than Usman's. And he's got more experience. I know Usman has beaten some of the fucking killers out there, but Gamebred is a different cat. There's nobody like him. I mean, it's like Conor. Conor's a different kind of cat. There's nobody like Conor. And Masvidal, what's shocking is that this is the first time he's finally getting a title fight in the UFC. I mean, it's a long time. I just think everything lines up. So go back to Usman. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I agree with you.
Can't. If we were in the room and you were shitting on Askren, I'd give you a noogie. I'd be like,
now let me tell you about Askren. I'm a big Ben Askren fan. I think he is incredible. I think he was incredible for the sport. Everyone wanted to see him lose. I wanted to see him win. Funky Ben Askren, But with that being said, from a wrestling grappling credential, he's one of the best. From a striking credential, he's one of the worst. So when people say he was ranked 3rd in the world, it's hard to say because from a wrestling, absolutely. But from a striking ass point, if you watched all his ONE FC fights, there was one fight where he is getting his ass whipped. I mean, bad. Like the guy's waving him up. And then the guy blows his knee out in the middle of the fight and he gets the win for it. Now, people don't know that. So I don't want to take anything away from
Santos. I know exactly the fight.
You know exactly which fight I'm talking about. I mean,
Santos has the greatest standing from nowhere, no load kick I've ever seen in my life. I'll send you a video later of some of these kicks. Like he'll be standing there just like looking at you. Like if you and I were standing in front of each other right now, just looking at each other, and I was him, I would kick you in the face. And you remember the scene in the movie Rush Hour where Chris Tucker got kicked in the face, goes, "Who kicked me?"
Yeah. Who kicked me? Yeah.
And you could be standing right there and you still wouldn't know Sapos kicked you until you woke up because he loads it. He doesn't have to load it. His leg just
throws it up.
Wow. Like, and at this close range, you could be standing 2 feet away and you're face down and you don't even realize because you never see it coming. And I saw that fight, but regardless, and you're saying that Ben Askren, number 3 in the world at one point, as a grappler, but he was winning fights, dude. So you can't discount it, and he's a beast. He was a beast. I don't know. He's never gonna fight again. He doesn't.
Do you really think he beat Robbie Lawler?
He did beat Robbie Lawler.
Oh, that hurts my heart. I'm a huge Robbie Lawler fan.
Go look at the fight. Robbie Lawler, arm went limp. Fight's over.
I mean, I saw it, but I didn't agree with it. I didn't like
you don't
it.
Have
Robbie,
to,
I think
you don't have to agree with it, but that's what went down, bro.
I don't know. I don't know if Robbie was out. I don't know.
Take your fandom out of it and just look at it.
I mean, I see why Herb stopped it, but I've been choked unconscious before, probably like 3 times ever, actually 300 times ever. And usually when I'm unconscious, I'm out and I'm looking around wondering what happened. Robbie's head went straight up. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like your reaction when you're choked unconscious isn't to respond because for about 3 seconds, you don't really know what's going on. And for Robbie to respond as quick as he did, I see what Herb saw. I see why he stopped it. I'm not saying it was a bad stoppage, but I don't think Robbie was out.
But he was. Again, if you go listen, you don't have to think it. I don't have to think it because the video proof is there. I mean, he went down, the arm was in, the crank was on, and his arm went like this. Boom. When Herb went to get the arm and say, "Are you all right?" That's when the arm went down. It was the worst timing for Lawler because he did bounce right back. But we've seen guys, I mean, look at Czech Congo and Pat Barry. One of them knocked the other guy out and then hit him again and woke him back.
That was incredible.
He won the fight, So those moments happen. So I agree. Robbie came back quick. He was back in. He was coherent, but he was out.
I'll have to rewatch it.
Make the decision to stop the fight. I have no problem with the stoppage. And listen, I love Robbie Lawler. I picked Askren to win that fight, but I still love Robbie Lawler. And he was beating the shit out of Ben. Beating the shit out of Ben. I was surprised that it didn't get stopped before it did.
Sure.
Because there was a couple of moments where I might have stopped the fight if I was the referee.
Yeah, definitely.
But Ben Askren showed his toughness because he stayed in that fight and he kept moving forward, working his game plan, and he won the fight. Whether you agree with it, whether the world agrees with it, it doesn't matter because the video is there. If your arm goes limp and the referee's right there and he goes, "Hey, are you all right?" and the arm goes limp, he's going to stop the fight 9 times out of 10.
Sure.
So it was a good stoppage. Askren won the fight. You can't discount it. Even as much as you love Robbie Lawler, you maybe have a little Robbie Lawler look to you, except you have facial hair. But other than that, and Lawler's given some great fights against Rory McDonald and so many others. I mean, I love watching the dude fight, but he lost that fight. It's one of those fights I get riled up when people go, "He didn't lose that fight." the fuck? What fight were you watching? His arm went limp.
He did lose. And the thing is, I do agree with the stoppage, but being a fighter and seeing that the way it played out, and I don't know. I think it's just the fighter in me saying, like, if that was me, I wouldn't want it to be stopped at that exact moment. And I just felt bad for him.
Nobody would.
Sense. Not taking it away from Ben, because like I said, I'm a huge Ben Askren fan. I wanted him to. I didn't want him to beat Robbie because I'm a bigger Robbie fan. But besides that, I wanted him to beat Masvidal. And again, going back to Masvidal and his record, Nate Diaz is his last win. I'm not sold on it. I don't think Nate Diaz is that good. I think Nate Diaz is overrated. He has like 15. He's like 20-15. I think he sells tickets. And the UFC needs Masvidal to win, but like I said, I'm going to stick with because my phone's dying, so I do have to leave in a couple of minutes. But I am sticking with Usman. I think if it goes past the third, it's guaranteed Usman. But again, if Masvidal does have the chance to knock him out in the first and second round.
Absolutely. What fight are you looking forward to the most? A couple of fans here wanted to know what fight are you looking forward to the most on this card? Is it the main event?
No, it's not. The main event's too lopsided. It's either going to be a huge upset or it's going to be exactly what everybody thought. The fight I'm looking most forward to is the co-main, Volkanov and Holloway. I'm super excited just because I'm a big Holloway fan, and now after Volkanov beat him, I became a fan of him as well. So I'm just excited to see the adjustment because Volkanov is going to come in, try and tear apart his legs again. Well, Holloway's not going to let him just tear apart his legs this time. But what's Volkanov going to do to rebuttal against that? And this is really exciting for me. And, we're talking about the top of the line, very powerful strikers, or one really short, powerful, striker, and then one long, rangy striker. This is a clash of styles. And I'm very excited for this fight. Like I said, the main events, it's a little too ticket saley for me. But the true main event, I think, is the co-main.
Well, for me, the fight I'm looking forward to the most is Volkan and Jiri. I think that fight, for some reason, it's got something special about it, something I feel really good about. I think that fight is going to be off the charts. I don't think it's going to last long. It won't go out of the first round, I don't think, but I just think it's going to be phenomenal. But the Aldo Jan fight for me is the one I'm looking forward to the most because Masvidal and Usman, like I said, those guys are going to go out there and do what they're going to do. And the co-main, because I've seen it. I've already seen this fight, and I still think Volkanovski's going to go out there and win the fight. He's going to finish Max this time. I just, it's in my gut. But Max has every tool in the box to beat and regain the title and set up a trilogy match, which would be great for the UFC.
Yeah, I agree.
But I just think this Jan versus Aldo fight, because Aldo's getting a chance. I think he is at that spot again, like Masvidal. These guys are closer toward the end than they are toward the beginning, and I think title shots for them are going to be fewer down the road, unless something crazy happens. But I think Aldo's going to surprise a lot of people. He looked really good against Marias. He really did. He looked phenomenal, and that's why a lot of people felt he won that fight. He didn't, but a lot of people felt he did. I think now with the second cut to 135, which was a lot smoother for him this time, and he looked great last time. Everybody he looked all shredded up, and like sunk in. Well, he cut a lot more weight than he's used to. This weight cut was a lot better. I think he's in better shape, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I think this is a fight this is one I'm looking forward to the most because I want to see him be able to walk out. If he decides to retire, walk out with the gold around his waist. And again, I feel he got fucked over for not getting the rematch with McGregor, which I understand from a business point because they built that fight up for like 2 years, twice. The first time Aldo had to pull out, so then they had to restart the whole hype machine, the world tour, and all that shit. I understand why it was hard to go back to the well with that one, a third, promotional thing in a row. It wouldn't have sold. Even though McGregor's star was on the rise, I still don't think it would have sold, and it would have derailed so much. And the McGregor evolution probably never would have happened if they booked that rematch. So. But Aldo and Jan, that's the biggest fight for me on the card, followed by Volkan and Jiri, and then Masvidal and Usman. The other fights on the card, I'm looking forward to Ribas beating. I'm looking forward to the whole card, man. Let's just
it's a great card.
It really is. It's a good card, and it starts in 2.5 hours on ESPN. For all the prelims, you can get the prelims on ESPN or ESPN Plus. So if you don't have ESPN Plus, you're an idiot, because if you don't have ESPN Plus, you can't watch the pay-per-view. If you steal the pay-per-view, I'm just telling you right, you're a fucking dick, because you're taking money off the fighter's fucking table, period. Say what you want. Don't believe it. But every dollar if this, if they sell 1 million pay-per-views, but 800,000 also get stolen, that's money from the pocket of the fucking fighters because it does trickle down. So stop stealing pay-per-views. If you're one of those guys, take yourself off my fucking friend list, get the fuck out of my life, and don't call yourself a fight fan ever fucking again because that's scummy. With that being said, this is my man Justin, Guitar Hero Jaynes. Phenomenal job with us. Justin is going to be with me all the time. Him and I were talking about it for every preview show. I'm going to have Geoff Neal on tonight for a post-fight show. Justin, you're more than welcome to jump in with me and Geoff at the end of the card after the main event ends. About 20 minutes after the main event, we'll go live. So if you want to jump in, I'll send you the link. You come in.
Yeah, I'll see where I'm at.
You might be a little tipsy by then, so it might be even a little more fun.
But it might be a little more fun too after I have a couple. My girl, I just brought another cold one, so.
By this time, if you're on your pace right now, because I think did they bring you the second beer?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
So you're number 2, so 3. So by the time the fights end, you could be a case deep. Yeah, you have to come back on. But listen, man, thanks for taking the time. Thanks to Jamahal Hill also and Phil Rowe. Sorry they had some technical issues on their end. I'm going to look into my broadcast partner platform here and see if it was something on our end that there was a problem with. But you didn't have a problem, and you're on the phone.
No, I've had no problem.
They're both on the phone, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, thanks
I know
again.
Jamahal was driving.
Jamahal was driving. That's hard. He's got the kids in the car eating French fries. I wish I was him, though. He was on the way to Chi-Town to visit family.
That's what I'm saying.
He's got 6 kids. His brother had 2 sets of twins back to back. I mean, what the hell? But guys, this is Justin Jaynes, the Guitar Hero. Keep your eye out on him. He made a successful debut a couple weeks back, knocked out Frank Camacho. He's waiting for the next one. Looking to fight again August 8th in Las Vegas. Hopefully, and that's home for him. So, it's like, oh, cool. I go across the street. I go to the fight. I go home, sleep in my own bed. That's a good advantage for you too, having your hometown right there. You don't have to stay at the Fighter Hotel. Although during pandemic time, I believe you probably have to stay at the Fighter Hotel, even though you live, a mile and a half away. So with that being said, man, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for taking the time. Phenomenal job, man. A lot of the comments here were digging you, man. So I think your career as a commentator analyst, will happen. Remember, I get 1% of anything you get because you started here with me. So
that's right.
I don't want to be like your agent and take like 15%. I just want 1%, and it's more of a gratitude.
Yes,
it's a tribute. Take it as a tribute, my friend. I sent you my address, so it's should be on your messenger, man. So
got it.
You leave town tomorrow because you're leaving tomorrow, right?
I leave tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll be back to Vegas tomorrow.
Don't forget me, dude, because I'll be very.
I got you.
But listen, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the fights tonight. You watching at home or no? You don't have cable at the house. So where are you going out to watch?
I'm going to the bar.
What particular bar? Someplace that you call home up there?
Maybe I'll start at Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe go to a strip club. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see where the night takes me.
Strip club. I work at a strip club periodically as a DJ.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah. You know what I'm talking about then.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Crazy motherfucker. But anyway, guys, like I said, follow Justin Jaynes. Just as it's spelled right there. It's on Facebook. Give us your Instagram, and do you have a Snapchat or I have a Snapchat, but I don't use it because I'm not a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, I don't use Snapchat, but Instagram is JAY09MI. And a lot of feed about fighting, a lot of feed about hunting, a lot of feed about fishing. Then my Instagram, my Facebook, Justin Jaynes, and then my Twitter is Justin Jaynes MMA. Awesome. Well, listen, man, you enjoy the rest of your day. Tell mom and dad and the folks I said hi. Tell them thank you for keeping your beer hydrated because we appreciate that. That's right. You have a great day, man. And like I said, I'll send you a link when I set up the broadcast for the post-fight show. You're more than welcome to come on because your post-fight analysis, if you're available and sober enough to talk. All right. Well, if I'm not sober enough, it'll be better. So, and it'll probably just me saying I can whip all these guys' asses. Oh, and one more thing. I just went off on a little rant about stealing pay-per-view. You're a fighter. Yep. You agree with everything I said? Don't be addicted. I agree 100%. Guys, you gotta buy. I mean, you gotta understand. Up until I got into the UFC, I was making $20,000 a year working at a gym. Like, buy your fans, or buy your fighters' gear, buy their T-shirts, buy their pay-per-views, buy everything you can. Because even if it's only a $20 T-shirt, they're making $5, $10 off each shirt sold, and that pays the bills until they get to the big show. So my recommendation, especially if you have friends or fighters coming up, stop asking for free shit. I hate when I come home and 100 people, hey, can you give me a T-shirt? Like, boy, give me fucking $10, man. Keep the dream alive, keep these fighters going. Help them pay their bills till they get to the big show. Oh, and what one more thing before I let you go. I know you said your phone's about to die, but I gotta ask you. I mean, you're new to the UFC. You only had one fight. You only had one Reebok fight kit, but they're switching to Venom fight gear, which was a shocking move to me. I thought Nike, with the evolution from where the UFC was to
Fox Sports, and then now to ESPN, the biggest platform they could be on. I surely felt Nike was going to get the contract, and if not Nike, it was going to be Under Armour. And Venom was mentioned, but as the third, kind of way off the side. And then boom, yesterday they announced Venom. They say the fighters are going to get more money. Don't know what the fight kits are going to look like yet because they haven't shown any of that. Don't know if the fighters are going to be able to add sponsors, like they used to be able to. So many unanswered questions, but just from a product standard. Because I'm sure you've used some Venom gear over your career. I mean, you're probably real familiar with the brand. I'm hoping. Yep. Good move or bad move? I mean, getting rid of Reebok, phenomenal move. They just never got the vibe of the fight game, and their shirts were so expensive. I don't see anybody walking around with the Reebok fighter jersey except for a guy that cornered somebody or the fighter themselves.
I think it's a great move. Which any move that can get the fighters more money is what matters. I'm not going to complain about Reebok. I didn't work with them long enough to have any complaints towards them. I think they have great gear. The quality of my gear that I had for my last fight was just incredible. But you know what? When it comes down to it, we got bills to pay. Wearing T-shirts aren't paying the bills. Checks pay the bills. So if everything's the way it's supposed to be, Venom's supposed to get the fighters more money, and that's what means the most to me.
That's awesome, man. You use their gear. Do you have any problems with their gear? A couple of people they don't like their gear, and the biggest comment was they don't want the UFC to switch to Venom gloves, which I don't think they will.
I don't think they will. The way the UFC gloves, I think it's their own glove. And I tell you what, they were so incredible. Like I've had 70 MMA fights, 20 pro fights, and they were the best gloves I've ever felt. They just felt comfortable on my hands. I have used the Venom gloves. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're not UFC gloves. So I hope they don't switch. But if we get more money for wearing them, fuck it. I'll wear whatever they want. I'll wear Louis Vuitton gloves. I don't give a shit.
That'd be fucking awesome. Louis Vuitton gloves, fucking, maybe Calvin Klein fighter jersey, fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking pimp it straight up, dude. That would be awesome. It'd be crazy to have like a big name, fancy brand clothing, like fucking be the fight kit. But anyway, I'm so glad we started talking about that because I knew there was something else I wanted to ask you about and I couldn't remember. I wanted to ask all you guys about the fight gear thing. Phil's already upset because Phil Rowe, because he goes, I can't see Venom having fresh shoes. He's a shoe.
I can't see that either. I did hear Reebok is going to continue with the shoes
till the end of next year.
April, even going into the Venom thing, the thing I did read, it's not for sure. Don't quote me on it, but I heard even if Venom does take over, Reebok is still going to supply shoes.
Well, no, absolutely. I got a release from the UFC. The way it's going down is the Reebok deal was supposed to end this calendar year, but they extended it out till March of next year, 2021. That's going to give Venom enough time because I don't even think Venom expected to get this deal, and that's why they're not ready to take over right away.
April of 2021.
So Venom takes over April of 2021 for all the gear and all that shit. But Reebok will continue to be the sponsor for footwear till the end of 2021. And then I'm guessing they're going to add another sponsor. And it's going to end up, I think, being the best of both worlds because I think now what will happen is they'll stay with the Venom gear, although they didn't sign as long of a deal as they did with Reebok. I think they learned from the mistake of signing a 6-7 year deal with Reebok that they could sign these smaller deals and then, revisit it. But I think I think it's going to be a 3-year deal or 2-year deal from what I'm trying to, decipher through the press release. But I think at the end of 2021, Nike will come on as the official footwear sponsor, and they'll probably keep Venom gear unless Venom gear didn't live up to their end of it, which is kind of hard for me to understand how they got the deal. But they have a name, they've been around since 2006, average about $100 million a year in sales. So, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up, and that's where we're going to have to see if they can step up. Somebody also said to me there's probably the UFC probably acquired a piece of Venom. Endeavor probably acquired a piece of Venom, which would give them more control over the design and the branding and everything. So it might be that is why, they took the deal. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to shut the fuck up because I know you want to go hang out with your fam. I know
my girlfriend's getting antsy. I got to go.
Where is she? She's
on the outside of the door waiting for me.
Hi, girlfriend. Sorry. Thank you for letting us play with your boyfriend. We had a play date today. Sorry,
That's
girl.
right. All right, man. Well, hey, hit me up let me know about the after show. I'll let you know where I'm at and if I'm able to or not.
All right, brother, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Tell your girlfriend thank you for letting you come out to play, and thank mommy and daddy too. I don't want anybody to yell at me. So you have a good day. We'll talk to you soon,
bro. Appreciate you.
Peace. All right, boys and girls, that's the pre-fight show. UFC 251 starts in just a couple of hours, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Justin Jaynes, phenomenal on the analysis. Fight Island right here behind me, guys. You see it? It's all fucking ready to go. They're not fighting outside. This is the outdoor, though. This is where we're at. There's outdoor. I'm hanging out here because, they didn't give me a ticket, but whatever. I'm just sitting on the beach hanging out, enjoying the show with you guys. It's going to be a great show tonight, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. Geoff Neal will join me tonight for a post-fight show. And thanks to Phil Rowe, Jamahal Hill for coming in. And I guess, they had issues with their phones, so no big deal. I love them all. Thanks to Justin Jaynes for getting in here and hanging out with me for the whole show. Phenomenal dude. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you guys being a part of my life today and letting me be a part of yours for just a little bit of time. Thanks so much. And until later tonight, man, I am Christopher James, and you guys have been Capeside. We'll see you next time. Toodaloo.